Hi everybody, my name is Elisa with Fusion DIY. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I take furniture and other home decor that was otherwise destined for landfill, and I repair and I restore and I repaint and then resell these items in my booth, which is located at the Pickers Junction in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Today I have a flip for you that is what's called a gossip bench back from the 1940s and 50s, and I picked it up at a yard sale for $5. So wait till you see how it turns out. I hope that you enjoy the video. So here is the bench. It's in really great condition. And I'm going to close up the back of the bench so that you can see the finish on the bench and how it was really in rough condition. It was peeling, and I believe that happens when it's in hot and cold temperatures. The stain just dries out and it starts to flake off. It's got a cute little cubby, and of course down here is where you would leave your notes and your paper if you wanted to make notes. I also wanted to point out that there was some chips in the veneer on the harp, but I wasn't overly concerned about that because I knew that I could repair those. I was just grateful that the dowels were in such good condition. And so now I'm going to pan to the back of the chair where you can see it has a deep scratch. But again, everything was intact. The harp was solid. There was nothing loose. And there was a lot of spider webs on this. So I took a vacuum to it before I started sanding it just to clean all that off. I did want to point out that when I turned it over, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was actually labeled as a gossip. I don't know what the other numbers mean, but I just thought that that was really kind of neat. So the first thing that I did was I took the seat off before I started to sand it. And you could tell that it was old because the screwdriver that I had to use in order to get the seat out was a flathead screwdriver. So now I'm going to begin sanding, and of course I have my respirator on, I have my hearing protection on, and I'm just going to give it a good sand. I was able to get the scratches out with the sandpaper. I believe I was using a 150 grit here, and it worked very well. But you can see the little pile of red dust starting to accumulate on the floor in the garage. So this first layer that I am pulling off reminded me of a vinyl tablecloth. You know, the kind that you used to have when you went to visit your grandmother. That's what they used. I seriously think that might have been what it is. And I was prying off tacks. I wasn't trying to get out staples. I'm working hard here to get the tacks out of the vinyl tablecloth. So just as a reminder, you can see how far over that tablecloth material went. Try not to cover the holes where your screws screw into the bottom of the seat, because that gives you additional thickness and it makes it that much harder to screw the seat to the base of the piece of furniture. Here I'm taking a screwdriver and prying up even smaller tacks than the ones that were used to hold down the vinyl tablecloth material. This was extremely tedious, and I was very glad to get to the end of it. So now this is just the last of the the tacks that I'm trying to get off. And I took the fabric off, gave it the smell test, and it did not smell at all. So then I'm taking that fabric and I'm throwing it out. I don't need it any longer. And then I'm going to get the new fabric that I found for this chair, and I absolutely love this upholstery fabric. There was quite a bit on the roll, and I got it at the Pickers Junction. One of the vendors there had this sitting in a corner, and she had it marked at 20% off. The price that I paid was, it was originally $20, and I got 20% off, so I paid $16 for the roll. So I thought that was a great price. And not only have I gotten the cushion out of it for the gossip bench, but I've also gotten a couple of pillows out of it already. So now that I've cut the piece that I want, I'm putting it back into the plastic sleeve, and I'm going to bring it downstairs where I store all my other fabrics. I like having that plastic sleeve because it keeps it clean. So this will give you an idea of what it looks like when it is fastened to the seat. Now when I upholster, usually I like to start with one staple on each side. And there I found another tack. I'm throwing that away. And I do one staple on each side just to make sure that there's no puckers or buckles. And then I'll flip it over again and do one on the other ends just to be sure that everything is going to reach. So you can kind of see how it looks. Now when I get to the corners, there really is no science about how to do the corners. It's just going to be playing with it and trying to make sure that it looks the way that you want it to look. Here I'm cutting away some of the excess fabric, and then it's just going to be playing with the corners until you are satisfied that it looks even and there's no buckles in the fabric. And when you're satisfied, you can go ahead and put a staple in there. And here you will see the finished product. So I'm using my Klingon S50 brush, and I decided I wanted to try this Bear chalk paint. I have to tell you that I've used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint, I've used the Waverly chalk paint. This paint, I have to tell you, gives you excellent coverage. It's excellent coverage. However, I picked the black, they call it noir, and it was not noir at all. Maybe to them it was black, but this turned out to me to look more like the Waverly elephant color. It just really was not the black that I was looking for. So I gave it 2 coats of this paint in the hopes that it would darken up a little bit more, but it never did. So I ended up having to get out my black onyx paint from the Color Place, which is Walmart's brand of paint, and I gave it yet another coat. I unfortunately did not take video of that, and I apologize. I thought that I had my camera rolling, but it was not. So you can see here, I'm just giving it its first coat. So you can really see the difference in the color. The top part where you would write, you could see that it's starting to dry and it's really turning into a gray. I was very disappointed with the color, and so Bear paint, if you're listening, you need to go back and create a deep black. I did not get video of me giving it a final coat, but this is what it looks like when it's done. I thought it turned out beautiful, and it is in my booth for sale at the Pickers Junction, 220 North Main Street, and that is in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. So what did you think of that flip? I thought that it turned out awesome. Did you enjoy it? If so, please comment below, hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, and that really helps my channel to grow. I want to thank you again for joining me. I hope that you have an awesome week, and God bless.